Hello everybody, this is Tip Top MTG here today with another Magic the Gathering Arena video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about actually some Magic the Gathering Arena and some physical Magic because they're doing kind of this combination product. Now, I'm going to break this all down, but I'm going to give you a brief overview right now. For those of you who don't know, Historic Anthology is this thing where they add 25 cards to Historic, which is MTG Arena's kind of legacy-esque format where every card ever printed in any product on MTG Arena is legal in Historic. Now, they add 25 new cards 4 times a year, and so this is the second version of this. And so in this video, I'm going to break down what those 25 cards are, but they're also doing something with Secret Lair where they are combining it with the Historic Anthology, and we're going to get into that here in just a second. So I'm going to read through the article, give you my thoughts, opinions, tell you some things that may not be obvious just from reading it, and, add some other little facts that you may not know. So let's do this. On March 12th, Magic the Gathering Arena will be updating Historic with 25 new cards to add to players' arsenals, and Secret Lair is going to get some of the action. So, first off, this confirms that March 12th will be the date of the next MTG Arena update, which means a week before that on that Thursday will be the state of the game, so it'll be coming early March, which is always fun to have early updates. But let's get into this. So, among those 25 new cards, players will discover a powerful 2-drop in the Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, which is very important to this whole announcement, a card that has befuddled opponents in nearly every Magic format, digitally and in paper. On the same day, Thalia joins Historic. Players can order a special Secret Lair drop series of set of 4 Thalias featuring 4 new depictions of the popular legend, with Thalia Beyond the Hellevault. It's a celebration of paper and MTG Arena players that unites us all in our hatred of opponents who mess with our stuff. So basically what they're saying is, hey, on the same day that MTG Arena is getting Historic Anthology, you'll be able to pick up a copy of one of the cards from Historic Anthology through Secret Lair, except you'll actually get 4 copies of those, all with different art. So here are the arts. Now, here's my problem I have with this. Out of all the cards they picked the legendary creature. The one that, if you're playing Commander, you only need one of. Assuming this is your commander, which I don't really think this would be a commander, so I guess part of this argument kind of goes away. But it's just kind of interesting to see that they chose a legendary creature, and they're like, here, let's give you 4 of them. I think it would have been cooler to do 4 different cards from the Historic Anthology drop, maybe have Thalia as like the main leader, but then do 3 other cards of high value, you get some nice reprints in there. But yeah, we're going to talk about this a little bit more. But then they say, but what's this? We said about the 25 new cards for Historic, so we actually got the announcement of all the cards being in Historic Anthology 2, which is kind of weird because, well, the state of the game is coming right around the corner, so you thought they could have just waited? And what that makes me think is if they're announcing Historic Anthology early, does that mean there's going to be something really big on that day that they don't want Historic Anthology to be like trampled like by all the news of, oh, MTG Arena is now on Mac or something? Something like that could be happening. It's kind of weird that they're announcing it a week before, pretty much, when it would actually come out. Now, it could be because of the Secret Lair that they want to make sure players know about it beforehand, but I'm not sure. Okay, on March 12th, MTG Arena is releasing its second anthology of new cards going straight into the Historic format, along with the return of Historic Rank, which I know a lot of people are going to be happy about, and traditional Historic Ranked queues. Both queues will kick off on March 12th and run till April 16th, so you'll get about a month of playing Historic before we jump back into Ikoria. And then it says the state of the game on March 5th, so now we have the guaranteed date of the 5th. We'll have information, but you can read about the new cards here, or just glance down about half an inch. So we're just going to glance down about half an inch. So looking at some of the cards, some of them are interesting, like Ancestral Masks, which clearly cares about enchantments. And unfortunately, we already have something very similar to this that is kind of plaguing Standard with the Selesnya Enchantress decks. So this is going to be another awesome card for that. Baron Moore, we're getting a cycle of uncommon lands that have cycling. So that's kind of interesting. A Bajuka Bog, which is nice for exiling opponents' graveyards. That can be useful. For instance, if I were to update my Ashiok Brawl deck, I might throw that in here. Because remember, this is also important for Historic Brawl. And by the time this comes out, I believe Historic Brawl will be like an upcoming event. So all of these cards will be legal in the upcoming Historic Brawl thing. We have Brain Maggot, which has you kind of a Dire Fleet Robber Stealer, something like that. That's kind of what that looks like. Then we have Dragon Master Outcast, very powerful mythic here. Now, the rarity does matter because you can't open these from packs. You either have to spend wild cards or buy the set that comes with all 4 of them. For all 4 of each comes with 4 of each card. Forgotten Cave, again, another cycling land, Ghost Quarters. And so, you know, the rarity does matter, even though they're not in packs. Just know that. Now, there are some really fun ones that, obviously, I'm not a super expert of, like, what cards are super popular in what formats, but there are a couple that stuck out to me. For instance, first off, Goblin Rune Blaster is a it costs 3, but then you can pay 1 extra to destroy target non-basic land. That's pretty crazy. Even like Inexorable Tide, but Meddling Mage was the first one I saw that I was like, wow, you know, that's pretty good. It allows you to name jam stuff. And then I went down and I'm like, ooh, Pack Rat, that's kind of fun for a rat deck. And then I was like, Platinum Angel. Platinum Angel, this is a card that says you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. I'm totally building a deck around this as soon as this comes out. And I might actually be getting 4 copies of each card because we're going to talk about a change that they're announcing here in a second, which here's just all of them, and then obviously Thalia, and yeah. So it says all 25 cards will be craftable via wildcards, or you can purchase a playset, 4 copies of each card for either 4,000 gems, so they increase the price of this, or 25,000 gold. So, here's what they did. They first off increased the price in gems, but now allow you to buy it for gold, which, honestly, if you're a Historic player, that's not a bad deal. Instead of having to buy a bunch of wildcards or a bunch of packs for a set coming out, you can just buy basically 25 packs and get every single card. I think that's actually pretty cool. Now, they do talk about it here in a second. I'm going to get back to Secret Lair in a second. I think they talk... I know they talked about it because I read it somewhere. But they also mentioned somewhere in here that the first Historic Anthology will be still sold. Like, right now it says it's a limited time offer, but they said it's going to keep being sold, and you're going to be able to buy it for... a discounted price. I believe it was bumped down to 3,000 gems or 20,000 gold. So if you want to get the first Historic Anthology, you'll be able to do that. Now, I'm not sure exactly where they said that, but we still have a little bit to talk about, so maybe I'll see it along the way. So, yeah. Now let's talk about the Secret Lair. So it says, just like the previous Secret Lair, Thalia will be available for 24 hours at secretlair.wizards, and it starts at 9 a.m., and you can pick up your copy for $30, a limit of 15 per customer. So that limit, we saw that increase with the International Women's Day Secret Lair, still there. And yeah, you'll get 4 copies each with different art, but you'll also, here's something different. You'll get a code for MTG Arena that redeems a digital sleeve featuring her and 4 card styles. So you'll see it here. You'll actually get the card styles for the thing, which is pretty awesome. I mean, that's the first time we're actually seeing like a somewhat physical version of or a digital version of what you physically get. Now, you don't get the actual cards, but you do get the styles. So if you don't buy the actual cards in game, that's kind of useless, but yeah, it's a nice little extra, and if you're buying this, you might be able to sell this online. And then, yeah, that's all they have to say on this article. Now, if you notice at the top, it says, view the full announcement, so I'm going to click on that and see what that leads me to. Aha, this was the website I saw. They first announced it here, then they added it to a daily MTG, and they talk about a couple interesting things here. First off, one thing I didn't mention, here we go. 3,400 gems or 2,000 gold for Historic Anthology 1. So they're increasing the price of the Historic Anthology 2, but they're also now letting you buy Historic Anthology 1. So if you're a Historic player, you now have a thing you're able to buy, which is pretty good. Honestly, I think this announcement is overall really positive. I know a lot of people are complaining about product overload, but what I think you need to realize is that they don't expect you to buy every single one of these products. You are not meant to. You are meant to buy the products you are interested in. And I get if you're a collector and you're like, I want every single product they release, that's great, but you're not expected to buy every Secret Lair. Secret Lairs are supposed to be for specific groups of people. People who are looking for this card, people who like this art, people who like the artist who drew this. You know, International Women's Day, people who like those creatures, people who want to support the cause. So each one has a different reason for buying it, and you're not supposed to buy all of them. That's not what they're trying to do. And that's all I mean, like, I don't think product overload is really a thing I can say with Secret Lair. I think the way they do it, I don't feel pressured to buy one, but if they release one where I'm like, ooh, I like those cards, I might get it. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. The included code is pretty nice, and knowing that we have Historic Anthology 2 and all the cards, we have those already, is kind of interesting. Yeah, so these are what it's going to look like in game. No, or not. Okay, apparently not. Overall, just a really good announcement. I don't have any negatives with it. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.